In this video, we will continue the countdown of scandals that the Vatican wished were hidden from public view. These scandals offer a glimpse into the dark side of the Catholic Church's history and provide insight into the challenges the Church has faced over the years. Quickly hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on videos like this. Number 5. Putting a dead pope on trial. Why did Pope Stephen VI go to such great lengths to destroy an enemy who was already dead? To understand this, you have to understand the importance of relics in the medieval era. The dead body of a holy person was more than rotting flesh. It was transformed by death into a holy relic and a source of miraculous power. They were participants in the daily lives of the people that venerated them. In this sense, they were still alive. It was this continued presence that Stephen VI sought to deny his predecessor Pope Formosus. In 897, the Vatican saw one of the most bizarre episodes in history. The corpse of a pope was put on trial by his living successor. Pope Formosus, dead for a few months, was hardly qualified to defend himself in a court of law. Nonetheless, Pope Stephen VI had the body disinterred, dressed in its ecclesiastical robes, and propped up on the papal throne to stand trial. He even appointed a deacon to speak on the corpse's behalf. In the middle of the trial, an earthquake shook the room. A clear sign from God, according to historians, the stones cried out, and Stephen VI paid them no mind. He persisted with his case, and the dead pope was found guilty of usurping the papacy. Stephen VI declared all his acts as pope null and void, all consecrations, all appointments, and all ordinations were undone. Formosus' body was stripped of its rich garments and dressed in rags. 3 of his fingers, the fingers of the benediction, with which in life he had given blessings, were cut off, and his body was cast into the Tiber River. However, karma came quickly as Pope Stephen's victory didn't last long. Within a few months, the people revolted against him, and as a result, he was thrown in jail. He was imprisoned, and in the summer of that same year, he was strangled to death. His reign lasted a little over a year. Number 4. Cardinal Pells abuse conviction. Cardinal George Pell was a high-ranking Vatican official and a key advisor to Pope Francis on financial matters. In 2018, he was convicted in Australia on charges of sexually abusing 2 choir boys in the 1990s when he was the Archbishop of Melbourne. A jury unanimously convicted him on 5 charges of assaulting 2 teenage choir boys at the cathedral when he was Archbishop of Melbourne. Pell was sentenced to 6 years in jail, becoming the most senior Catholic official worldwide to go to prison for child sex assault. The conviction followed a highly publicized trial in which Pell was accused of molesting the boys in the sacristy of St. Patrick's Cathedral in Melbourne. The case against Pell was controversial, with some critics arguing that he was the victim of a miscarriage of justice. Pell maintained his innocence throughout the trial and subsequent appeals, and his supporters pointed to inconsistencies in the prosecution's case and argued that the verdict was based on insufficient evidence. The Vatican's response to the conviction was also a source of controversy. While Pope Francis did not comment on the case directly, he expressed his support for Pell and praised him for his work on financial reform within the Vatican. Some critics saw this as evidence of the Vatican's reluctance to take allegations of sexual abuse seriously, while others argued that it reflected a more nuanced understanding of the complexities of the case. In 2020, the High Court of Australia overturned Pell's conviction, ruling that there was not enough evidence to support the guilty verdict. The decision was widely celebrated by Pell's supporters. While many argue that it highlights the ongoing challenges faced by the Catholic Church in addressing sexual abuse allegations and providing justice for victims. Number 3. Bambino Gesù Pediatric Hospital Scandal. In 2020, a Vatican investigation into the use of funds from a charity for a hospital in Rome found evidence of mismanagement and misuse of funds. The scandal centered around a Vatican-owned foundation called the Bambino Gesù Pediatric Hospital Foundation, which raises money for sick children at the Pope's Hospital in Rome. According to the investigation, officials at the foundation had used funds intended for the hospital to renovate Cardinal Tarcisio Bertoni's apartment, as well as to finance the production of a film about the life of Pope Francis. The investigation also found that the foundation had invested money in high-risk ventures, resulting in significant losses. The scandal led to the resignation of hospital president Giuseppe Profiti, former hospital treasurer Massimo Spina, and several senior Vatican officials, including the head of the Vatican's financial watchdog agency, Tommaso Di Ruza. This prompted renewed calls for greater financial transparency and accountability within the Vatican. Notably, neither the cardinal who benefited from the renovation nor the contractor who was apparently paid twice for doing the work was charged. Pope Francis has since implemented a number of reforms aimed at improving financial oversight and cracking down on corruption, including the creation of a new financial control department and the appointment of an independent auditor to oversee Vatican finances. However, some critics have questioned whether these measures go far enough to address the systemic issues within the Vatican's financial system. Number 2. The collapse of Bako Ambrosiano. The Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion, IOR, which holds the bank accounts of priests, bishops, cardinals, and even the Pope, has been embroiled in a number of scandals over the years. The bank was founded in 1942 to manage the Vatican's financial affairs and provide banking services to the Holy See and its employees, as well as to Catholic institutions and individuals around the world. One of the most high-profile scandals involving the Vatican Bank was the collapse of Bako Ambrosiano in 1982. The Italian bank had close ties to the Vatican Bank and was found to have been involved in money laundering and other illegal activities. The scandal led to the murder of the chairman of Bako Ambrosiano, Roberto Calvi, and implicated several Vatican officials. More recently, the Vatican Bank has faced allegations of money laundering and ties to organized crime. In 2010, the Bank of Italy suspended all electronic payments to and from the Vatican Bank, citing concerns about the bank's lack of transparency and adherence to international anti-money laundering standards. In 2013, Pope Francis appointed a new head of the Vatican Bank, Ernst von Freiberg, to clean up its operations. The scandal has highlighted the ongoing challenges faced by the Vatican in trying to reform its financial system and root out corruption. While Pope Francis has made efforts to address these issues, many critics argue that more needs to be done to ensure greater transparency and accountability within the Vatican's financial operations. Number 1. The expulsion of Theodore McCarrick. Former Cardinal Theodore McCarrick was one of the most prominent and influential figures in the American Catholic Church before his fall from grace. In 2018, he was accused of sexually abusing a teenager while serving as a priest in New York in the 1970s. The allegations were the first in a series of accusations that ultimately led to McCarrick's expulsion from the priesthood. As more allegations of sexual abuse and misconduct emerged, it became clear that McCarrick's behavior had been an open secret within the church for decades. Despite numerous reports of misconduct, he had been allowed to continue serving in senior positions within the church, including as Archbishop of Washington, D.C., and as a cardinal. The Vatican's response to the allegations against McCarrick was criticized by many, who argued that it had failed to take sufficient action to address the problem. In 2019, Pope Francis held a summit on sexual abuse within the Catholic Church, which was seen as an important step toward addressing the issue. However, critics argued that the summit did not go far enough and that the Vatican needed to do more to hold abusers and enablers accountable. In February 2019, the Vatican expelled McCarrick from the priesthood, making him the highest-ranking church official to be defrocked in modern times. Do you believe much has changed in the Vatican? Kindly share your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.